What's up, PB?
What up, boys? How are y'all?
What's up, man? Good to see you.
Holy, it's been a while.
I know. We got Dan Le Batard, Jonathan Zaslow here, and the rest of the crew.
We've already started, whether Chris Cody knows it or not. He's not in charge around here. PB is what we're calling him. We're calling him PB.
That's my man, PB.
That's what, yeah.
Okay. I've been worried about PB since he had that life-threatening incident in a restaurant, which sounded truly terrifying. And so before we talk, you're giggling about it, but I didn't. It seemed like I can't think of a lot of my wife was in Mexico City recently, and a fish bone got caught in her throat, and it's horrifying. And it was for 15 minutes, and you're laughing about it now, Peter Burns, but I imagine that's as scared as you've ever been. And
Dude,
welcome, by the way.
PB.
Thank you. I mean, by the way, this is a dream come true because I got to host and fill in for you back in the day when ESPN Radio was really fun back in the day in the Le Batard days, and so it's great to get to hang out with you guys at this whole crew. Yeah, that was a weird situation. So last year I was doing a show on the road for SEC Network, and we go on to Columbia, Missouri. I was there for the Missouri-Boston College game, just absolute huge marquee matchup that they sent me to. And I'm having dinner with Commissioner Greg Sankey, our whole crew at dinner. And all of a sudden at Bud's Barbecue, I just take this huge bite. We're starting to, talk about everything. And man, all of a sudden I knew I was choking. I mean, like I literally turned to Matt Stinchcomb, former NFL player. I'm like, you got to give me the Heimlich now. So he's first in the batting order. It doesn't move. Then all of a sudden the owner comes up. He's next in the batting order. He can't get it. All of a sudden, then they're yelling across everywhere in the restaurant. Is there a nurse? Anybody here? No. And then so finally a male nurse comes up from the other side of the room. This guy looks like a bowling ball. And mind you, Dan, I'm a minute into this thing and I'm thinking, oh my God, if this nurse doesn't get it, like I'm done. Like we're done. He does it, Dan, and he still doesn't get it out. I'm like a minute 30. And I'm sitting here going, I'm about to die in Columbia, Missouri at a barbecue restaurant before Missouri-Boston College. Like, if I would have died before the Iron Bowl, if I died before the SEC championship game or something like that, I'm like, that's kind of a cool way to go out. But Missouri-Boston College, you can't do that. It would haunt my kids forever.
As your life is flashing before your eyes, is any part of you like, I'm really going to die in front of Greg Sankey? Like, I'm going to be a tale that he shares at a cocktail party 10 years down the line?
I swear to God. And then Sankey, so they cracked when they did this, probably the fourth guy who was just a youth football coach who had just actually had the Heimlich and all the life-saving, stuff. He passed his certification the week prior. And he's the one who ended up saving my life, which was wild. And I'm sitting there all through that, and I'm like literally blacking out, about to die. And I'm looking at Commissioner Sankey, and he's just sitting there watching television. No. And they broke 2 ribs on both sides after this whole thing goes down. I'm on the floor. I'm crying. I'm in tears. I'm thinking I was about to die. And he's like, well, I guess it just means chew more. And I'm like, what are we doing? Like, you're giving me. You're like, I nearly died. And I think he felt bad. The next day he called me and he's like, I apologize about that. But yeah, and now I'm here. So hello.
I have a number of follow-up questions. So you can't breathe at all, or it's staccato breathing, or you're...
No, buddy, it is, Dan, I'm talking zero. And that's when I knew it was something serious where I'm like, I'm drinking water. I'm like, no. And I mean, you got nothing. And it's the oddest part of this whole situation, because when you're choking, is you can hear everything fine. Your touch sensation is fine. Your vision is fine, but you just can't breathe. And then you start thinking about, like, how long can I go? Like, as a kid, you'd be like, I think I can hold my breath for 45 seconds or whatever. But that's when you're like practicing all of this and like, all right, I'm going to really try to hold my breath. I didn't know before I took this big piece of steak how long I was going to be out for. And the crazy part about this, and it's like a damn movie, is as the last person's doing it, I'm thinking I'm about to die. It is literally like out of a movie where everything starts getting fuzzy and the blackness starts creeping in like a Tarantino movie. Like it all of a sudden comes in, you're like, I'm about to die. And I start slumping over and I'm like, it's over. It was a good run. At least I hosted a Le Batard Show before, back in the day before I keeled over.
I still have more questions. Are you so panicked that you're not actually feeling the pain of they've broken my ribs here?
You don't feel that. The adrenaline is there, and I didn't know it until for 6 weeks it was excruciating, where I couldn't even get out of bed. And even afterwards, I didn't feel that bad. We had to call we called Eli Drinkowitz and the Missouri head coach, because their game's tomorrow. Their team doctor had to run to the facilities to help me out. So, and to give the x-rays. I mean, this thing was completely wild. But yeah, you're aware of how bad this is. And you're also like, every single second I can stay literally alive and hold my breath gives you one more opportunity for somebody to save your life. And I'd love to say I had this like epiphany where I'm like, I'm going to change everything in my life. Like, I'm going to be a better human. I'm not going to be like Chris, who does not put his shopping carts back.
Such an old take. I do that.
No, it's a bad take, but it's a real take. That's something you had. It lives. And I was a great human for about 2 weeks, and then I got back to my normal self. So it just...
Well, you say normal self, but I imagine you chew a lot differently now, right?
Dude, every time. And now I've got an 8-year-old and 6-year-old, and I watch them like a damn hawk. I'm like, no, ma'am. No, you chew right there. And you dealt with it, Dan. Like, you were saying y'all had an incident? Like,
yeah,
it's a scary situation.
Well, but it wasn't. My wife had a fishbone that was stuck, and she was worried for 15 minutes. But it wasn't total not being able to breathe. Like, did you have any strange thoughts in there? Like, am I really gonna die in front of Commissioner Greg Sankey?
It's that, and then it's awkward because we had the best table in the house, which is right at the beginning, like right in the front of the restaurant. So mind you, I'm sitting there dying. Everybody's just sitting there watching, and everybody's all like, I got a front row seat. Everybody's waiting in line to order their food. So they're like, yeah, I think I'll have the 2 brisket. I'm not having what that guy's having, like, because that guy's dying. And like, it was just... It was wild. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at this sign. I'm like, I'm going to die in a barbecue restaurant in Missouri. And I see these people that are like, are you going to live stream this? Are you going to film this? It was a time. A time was had.
And you're noticing in the middle of that, I'm dying, and this person hasn't stopped watching television. Like,
not once. And actually he felt bad about it. Like I said, I had a call from Commissioner Sankey that day, and then every day for the next 4 days. And I think the first day he realized how close I was to dying, and he's like, I'm not going to make any more jokes anymore. And I was like, that's fair. So we've since patched that up, and then I said, that's fine. How you can make that up to me is just have ESPN sign me to a brand new contract, and that hasn't happened. So we'll figure out what goes on.
How does Matt Stinchcomb even look at you?
I mean, again, that's the whole thing. I was more upset with Stinch. Matt Stinchcomb's a college football Hall of Famer, an offensive lineman, and played in the NFL. And I'm like, Stinch. And this, by the way, is the guy, the dad, Missouri dad, that saved my life. And amazing that he just happened to be at the back of the restaurant, a youth football coach who had just done it the week prior, and Jack Foster saved my life. Unbelievable. MIZZOU, baby. Tiger fan for life.
Mike Ryan has another life or death question for you here, and you better answer it correctly.
Should Miami be in the college football playoff?
Yes, and they should play Vanderbilt this weekend. That's what I'm all in for. Give me the Le Batard Challenge Bowl. Can we have that? I mean, it's a joke that Miami, I literally saw it with my eyes. I mean, Miami beat Notre Dame, and you guys know, I hosted this show. I'm not a diehard Miami fan. I'm not a diehard ACC fan. And I sit there and I go, how in the hell do you have 2 resumes that are almost identical, and yet they played? We know the result, and the committee's like, nah, fam, we're good. Like, we don't need to have that in our playoff rankings. It's complete utter bull. How all of the committee, time in and time out, has all this stuff going on.
I'm glad you're alive.
And you get a situation where Sarkisian is embarrassing himself by doing politicking, and Cristobal doesn't mind going out there and pointing out yesterday that Notre Dame has 6 wins against teams that are ranked 105th or worse in defense and lost to their only 2 legitimate opponents. You got Cristobal saying that, where they're just trashing Notre Dame. Like, what? I wonder where he got that information.
It is, again, in the fact of, I remember I had Sark on my show, a couple of days ago, and I knew he was going to be politicking. And he talks about, hey, guys scored a late touchdown up 31 seconds. I was like, okay, that he clearly is trying to get like some like hit 'em up mixtape, put it up on there about other coaches. And again, I saw when I saw the college football playoff rankings this weekend. The first thing I saw when they came out on Tuesday is like, yeah, we're expanding. Like it's happening. We're not going to have 12 teams, and we'll probably, I don't know if it'll be 16 or 24, but there will be some type of expansion.
Peter, does the committee know what they're doing going into each week, or are they making it up as they go along?
It's a great question, Zaz, and I always thought they don't take the best teams. They don't take the most deserving. They take the teams that are most convenient for them to show what they can do. And for them, there is convenience in saying, well, we want these teams to be in and we don't want these teams to be in. And if we do this, we're going to completely contradict what we said. Now, the college football playoff rankings show, it's a ratings bonanza, I guess. People want to see it. But I think now people more so want to watch the college football playoff rankings afterwards just to see how they're going to pretzel themselves in to what they said was not the case last week. I mean, it's crazy to think about.
The SEC is really fascinating to me because I will concede it is the best conference in America, but it's also simultaneously the most overrated because I think people are applying a lot of what the facts were maybe 5-10 years ago to today. When Mizzou and Tennessee get ranked, when combined, they have 0 wins against FBS teams that are over 500. You want to talk about convenience. The SEC usually gets stacked at the bottom of these rankings to kind of boost the resume of those that are actually doing some winning. Texas A&M finds a way to not play any of the top teams in the SEC. These conferences are too large, and we all saw the quarterback
You're asking this question of the anchor for ESPN's SEC network and the host of ESPN Radio and SEC This Morning on Sirius XM SEC Radio?
I mean, Peter, Alabama hasn't played a good football game in a month. Oklahoma's offense is trash. We all saw the quarterback play this weekend. Like, there is something to it. It can be both. It can be the best top to bottom conference in America, no doubt, and it could also be wildly overrated.
Well, what also happened too is the 12-team playoff, and it's a great point. The 12-team playoff was made for what college football looked like before the conference expansions and the realignment. And I think those things worked when everybody inside their conference played each other. But you're right. Indiana, Ohio State, you know how many top 15 matchups the Big Ten has played all season long? Okay, 2. And one of them was Ohio State, Texas. Okay, so that's 2 of them. Now, there's been more for the SEC, but what happened now in the college football playoff rankings, or the how this field works, is that the conference has gotten so big that you could have A&M get a weak schedule, but still play an SEC schedule. You could have Indiana not play anybody, or Ohio State, because you got 19 teams in our damn conference, or 18 teams. Like, it's a disaster, and yet the world keeps spinning because people keep watching it.
Again, he is the anchor for ESPN's SEC network and the host of ESPN Radio, SEC This Morning on Sirius XM, SEC Radio. You're also someone who was raised in Baton Rouge, so I'll ask you the question I've been asking this week. Is there a right way for Lane Kiffin to do this? Because I'm really sort of annoyed by the rationalization that people are making for their outrage by saying, I don't mind that he did it. I understand someone taking a better job. I have a problem with how he did it. And I don't think there's a right way to do, I'm leaving my school when they're in a playoff situation.
Yeah, Dan, I love it. I think the nuance in that conversation here is, if you're Lane Kiffin, you've been wanting to take one of these quote unquote blockbuster jobs. Like last year, it was going to be Florida, right? But then all of a sudden, Florida beats LSU. So they decide to keep Billy Napier. And so now he's not headed to Florida, and they kick the can down the road, and ultimately they fire him. And then he wanted to take LSU. The problem with what Lane wanted to do was have his cake and eat it too. And I agree. A lot of these things can be true, that for Lane, he wanted to coach for the rest of the college football season. And he also wanted to take another job. And I think Keith Carter put his foot down because he told him weeks ago you couldn't do that. And that's the problem that Lane had. I think Lane knew that answer, and he kept playing footsie because he was so dopamine attention addicted to the fact of, the man tweeted out a visor that said Lane 2026. What would that tell you about what Lane wants to do. He wants to get the attention at this point of the fan base going, "Oh, what's this little breadcrumb he gave us?" So he wanted to play footsie and get all of that attention, but didn't want the heat when he left it. And damn if there's not a lot of heat for him now.
Did you know that the dog was fake, that the dog was not a Kiffin dog, that the dog is a rebel dog? Did you know that?
Stolen puppy valor. It was rough to hear. And I think a lot of people, and now I think the feedback of that was so bad, I think that they have basically said, fine, I'll take the damn dog. So I think the dog is actually now in the transfer portal and will be headed down to Baton Rouge, because I think people understood, man, like, you can piss off fan bases. You piss off dog owners, you can't. That's a bridge too far for so many people.
You don't believe Oklahoma's any good, do you?
Actually, I do. I think their defense travels. They're physical. I think so. Don't get me on this tangent, and that's one of the reasons why you'll like it. I think Miami's a physical team. I think there are certain teams that are. I wouldn't want to play them because the physicality in this transfer portal world doesn't travel. I think that Oklahoma's physicality defensively travels and can play with anybody in the country.
Their D-line can, but they're only a D-line. They shouldn't dress the other 80 players. It should just be the 5 on the D-line.
They've shown over the last 2 weeks they can literally play with anyone in the nation, including the bottom of the SEC.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, they haven't got over 300 yards of offense in the last 2 games, but the defense was that good. And I would have been curious to see if Mateer hadn't broken his hand in the middle of the season. I think that effed him up a little bit as far as I don't even know the physical aspect of it, but like Zaslow, I think it was like a lot of like his mental aspect of it that played into that role. But that's again, like if I'm taking right now, you taking Miami or would you take Oklahoma, Zaz?
I think I'd take Miami. I don't think Oklahoma would score enough points to keep up with them.
And I would take Oklahoma because I don't trust enough of Carson Beck.
Oh, you're biased.
It's a really good defense to say that he wouldn't make a mistake.
You're biased. The Carson Beck that dominated that conference, get out of here. I mean, what is this? You are clearly biased. I wish you were dead.
I freaking love this show.
God damn, that football coach
Zaz,
doctor.
I'm pissed off because the most fun I've had doing radio in 20 years was when I had to do this show whenever you guys were out back at ESPN, because none of this mattered and it was fun. You could talk about whatever you wanted to talk about. And again, I sit there and like, this has been the wildest 72 hours that I've covered in college football, especially in the SEC with all the coaching changes and whatnot. But you guys always have some fun, man. It's a blast.
It is super strange, though, even understanding the history of college football and the fact that it's always been judges and debate and sports writers and not necessarily merit. I've just never seen it like this. And I'm not saying it just because it's Miami involved. It just seems like the more teams that are involved, I thought the 12 was going to solve this. I really did. I thought that it's made it worse, and I thought that having 12 teams was actually going to make it better.
And then Miami bubbled two years in a row. And that screwed everything
that's why you
up.
care.
But yeah, but it's also people will have a conversation about it because Texas is a brand. Miami ends up being a brand. Notre Dame, hell, may be on the outside looking in. And I think, again, goes back to the conversation of conference expansion is the fact that I hated the idea that when we said 12, all people are going to bitch and moan and complain that of teams 13, 14, 15, and 16. But I think we legitimately have really good teams that are on that bubble now. And there's a lot more parity in college football.
It's amazing that we've had this entire conversation and haven't mentioned BYU one time. It's outrageous.
BYU. And I think that's a great point, but I think the BYU conversation also is like they're not focusing on BYU because like, well, if BYU wins in the Big 12 championship and they beat Texas Tech, then they're in.
And
okay, well, why are they not in that conversation if they lose that game?
They should be if they lose that game. The same way that Georgia will be if they lose to Alabama for a second time.
Yeah.
Who do you believe is getting most wronged here? If this all ends with someone getting wronged, who do you believe has the most right to be upset?
I mean, take the numbers out of the equation. Miami, especially if Notre Dame gets in, if you're a Hurricane fan, you're like, what the F, man? Like, I mean, why did these games not exist? And the College Football Playoff Committee says, well, when they get close enough, we'll look at the head-to-head. Well, they're close enough. They're looking at the resume. and you sit there and you're like, it didn't matter. Like, why play the damn games? I think that, and again, they got a soft spot in my heart. But Clark Lee and Vanderbilt, 10-2, and Diego Pavia, who's a damn dog. Like, I would have loved to see that team play somebody. And again, that's what I'm saying. The Le Batard Challenge Weekend, do counter programming, have, two other teams that get together on a neutral site, play ball. I mean, Clark Lee literally told his guys this week, pack your bags because we could find a game within the next 2 days and see if we could work that out. Now, maybe that was BS, but I'd love to watch it.
Vanderbilt has played for how many years, Jeremy? Because this is their first 10-win season, right? I never mind my lifetime, never mind my dad's lifetime, never mind my grandfather's lifetime. There's never been a good Vanderbilt team. Like, this is the first. This is
1890.
They've been playing football since 1890. This is the first time they've won 10 games. I'd be pretty pissed if I was playing in the SEC. I won 10 games and I didn't get into the playoffs.
I would have never thought we'd see a 10-2 SEC squad as the anchor of the SEC network and the host of SEC Radio would be out, and yet here we are. And again, I think that's why remember, they kicked back the idea of conference or expanding the college football playoff. It was supposed to be the deadline was going to be December the 1st. Then now they've kicked that back to January the 23rd, and now it's a matter of Sankey and Petiti, the SEC and Big Ten commissioners, looking at each other and going, do we want 24 with all these guaranteed spots, or do we want more of a committee? I have no idea. All I know is that it'll expand.
If you make it 24, though, you make the Indiana-Ohio State game even less relevant than it is this week, and it should be relevant this week.
But if you make more playoff games, Dan, then I think you do away with conference titles, right? I said do.
Yeah. It's tough, right? Because then you're basically saying, well, why the hell would you play this game, right? I mean, like I'm intrigued. I brought up that question on my show this morning. Like, what would you be more intrigued with? Texas and Miami playing this weekend to figure out like an extra data point, or the Big Ten championship game? I honestly would be more intrigued watching Texas and Miami play, even though I am intrigued to see if Indiana or Ohio State are for real and which one of those teams are legit, because then all it has to do with seeding wise, and I don't even know how much changes in the seeding. I think even the Big Ten champion is going to be one, and the Big Ten runner-up ends up probably still being a top 4 squad.
Can you make a ruling for us on what Zaslow said here earlier in the show? We've been debating it all show. We want to get a ruling from a broadcast professional. What is he saying here?
Jimmy Butler and the Heat took the Bucks' soul.
Ooh.
Jimmy Butler and the Heat took the Bucks' soul.
I don't know if it's a butthole. Give me one more time. Like, give me one more.
Heat took the Bucks' soul. That's not fair.
No clue. I mean, Zaz, what? I mean,
it was a hole.
Jimmy Butler.
Defend yourself, Where? What was the idea that you wanted to come get across?
The Milwaukee Bucks have not been the same since 2023, when Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat took the Bucks' soul.
Got it. Bucks soul. Okay. All right. It's
This is how he said
He
it.
took the Bucks' soul.
Yeah, it was much more of a butthole take than it was a Bucks
Great.
soul.
Thanks.
Butthole take for sure.
He took the Bucks' soul.
Thank you, Peter.
That's nice.
Appreciate the time. Good seeing you,
He took the
PB.
buckle.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Nice seeing you.
See you, boys.
A couple of other things that I wanted to get to here in this hour. One of them, the inexplicable, or to me inexplicable anyway, of Quentin Tarantino taking out Paul Dano. Paul Dano, I don't know if I was introduced to him in There Will Be Blood, but it was one of his most signature roles, and I think it's where I discovered, oh, who is this guy? I think he's good.
Did you ever see Little Miss Sunshine? That's where I saw him first.
I did see Little Miss Sunshine. Don't actually remember sort of the idea of who is this star the way that I thought, opposite Daniel Day-Lewis, going back and forth with Daniel Day-Lewis, matching Daniel Day-Lewis. What was Quentin Tarantino's objection to Paul Dano? Where was this and why was this?
So he was on a podcast and he was naming his top 20 movies of this century. So top 20 movies of the 21st century. And I'm just going to read you the quote, because his number 5 movie is There Will Be Blood. And he says, quote, Daniel Day-Lewis, the old-style craftsmanship quality to the film. It had an old Hollywood craftsmanship without trying to be like that. It was the only film he's ever done, and I brought it up to him, that doesn't have a set piece. The Fire is the closest to a set piece. This was about dealing with the narrative, dealing with the story, and he did it amazingly. There Will Be Blood would stand a good chance at being number 1 or number 2 if it didn't have a big giant flaw in it, and the flaw is Paul Dano. Obviously, it's supposed to be a two-hander, but it's also drastically obvious that it's not a two-hander. Dano is weak sauce, man. He is the weak sister. Austin Butler would have been wonderful in that role. He's just a weak, uninteresting guy, the weakest actor in SAG. And then he laughed.
That's crazy, right?
I can't believe that. I can't believe Tarantino said that, even though he's always opinionated, and even though I know how much he loves Paul Thomas Anderson and competes with Paul Thomas Anderson. Paul Thomas Anderson did Boogie Nights at 25 years old, is also one of the greats. You never hear a director do that to someone they have, not only in their industry, but does he have a bad experience with Paul Dano? Like, how would he assess? That must be, if I'm Paul Dano, and I have no knowledge that Tarantino feels this way about me, and I'm just listening to that podcast, and I hear all of a sudden Tarantino take me out that way, someone that respected, that is a cutting comment that I'm going to have trouble getting over.
No, this is bizarre. I think QT really put his foot in his mouth.
A foot fetish joke, Mike.
That's right.
He would have liked the movie better if there were women's feet, and also he could say a racial slur.
Where did this come from? There's no history between
Did
the
he
two.
bang his mom?
I mean, he must have.
Don't we all agree that Paul Dano is a pretty good actor? Like,
I used to think so.
I thought he was a great actor.
He's no Austin Butler.
But I also know Quentin Tarantino is my favorite director, and I was really shocked to hear this.
let's get to the Hampton Farms nominees for year-end winning here on Nuttiest Fan of the Year.
Yeah, it's very exciting, Dan. We are doing our Tournament of Champions. Every week throughout the football season, we nominated a Nuttiest Fan. So now you can go to our Instagram. It's the Nuttiest Fan Playoffs. It's brought to you by Hampton Farms. Get nutty with Hampton Farms, the official peanut of bowl season. Vote for your favorite at Le Batard Show on Instagram, and we will crown a winner next week. We had a bunch of good nominees throughout the season. We had the insane fans storming the field at the Virginia-Florida State game. We had Peepo make an appearance. We had so much good stuff, Dan. We had, Michael Irvin. Remember Michael Irvin taking a belt at Doak? I think that's my favorite.
Not taking a belt. He was not taking a belt. He was just whipping the wall.
Taking a belt to the wall. That's how I would describe it.
That is how you could have described it the first time, but not how you
Look at
described
that.
it the
That's
first
my
time.
favorite. Remember Peepo. We had a bunch of good nominees. Go to our Instagram and vote for your favorite. We will announce our Nuttiest Fan of the Year next week.
I wanted to ask you guys a couple of questions about the movies, and specifically The Smashing Machine with The Rock. Are you guys aware that while The Rock was trying with A24 to clearly win an Oscar, while he was trying to be taken seriously as an actor because he's lining up with A24 and also doing something that I would not do if I were The Rock. I would not spend hours in a makeup chair every day. If I were Colin Farrell in The Penguin, if I don't know who you guys would say required the most work in makeup for hours a day. I know Eddie Murphy did a lot of this when he was doing his movies, but it's just not something I would choose to do, spend hours a day in makeup. But are you guys aware that The Smashing Machine, while it got him a standing ovation and people did actually appreciate the acting in it, is by a lot his worst box office debut ever? That it's a commercial bomb. It's not a success as a business, and sometimes actors choose artistic endeavors instead of commercial ones, but that's not usually what The Rock does with his business choices. And I wonder what you make of the fact that The Smashing Machine is an artistic endeavor, but evidently the people just want The Rock jumping from skyscrapers and doing what The Rock does. They don't really want The Smashing Machine in that story, no matter how well he acted in it. it. I wonder if he's bothered or hurt by the fact that it was the worst box office opening of his life.
He put out a statement after it bombed in the box office, and The Rock does really love his box office reputation, and it was kind of sad. It's like, okay, I remember he was out in Madison Square Garden at the UFC fight next to Stugotz several years ago, talking about how it took him 10 years to get to the point to get it greenlit. He thought that this role was his dream role, and it would get him fanfare, awards, and box office success. Now, the first two are yet to be determined. He did receive critical acclaim, and we'll see if he actually gets a nomination. I'm sure that'll soften the blow. But yeah, he's wearing it. He's wearing it, even though he's already parlayed it into a role in Martin Scorsese's next picture.
Skyscraper is such a good movie. All of them.
Is that the one where he's hanging from a helicopter? He's got one
That's
leg
where
or
he's
one
got
arm?
like the peg leg.
Yeah, one
and
leg,
he
yeah.
jumps from the skyscraper onto the building over the fire with a peg leg.
Yeah.
Jeremy, let's get Tarantino's top 20 movies
Ooh,
because
I thought you never asked.
Well, I've done some of this where I'm in an algorithm that I get a lot of Tarantino stuff, and I get a lot of when I go down this path, he chooses a lot of movies that I don't actually want to watch because of his appreciation for cinema in the 1980s, and he just chooses a lot of movies that I will never watch. But let's just quickly go through the 20. Start with number 20.
I'll give you a couple quotes here that are interesting from him too. So number 20, West Side Story. He says, "This is the one where Steven shows he still has it. I don't think Scorsese has made a film this exciting this century."
Whoa. Not only Dano, but now Marty?
Number 19.
Cabin Fever. Number 18, Moneyball.
Really?
Yeah. Number 17, Chocolate.
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 Number 16, The Devil's Rejects. Number 15, The Passion of the Christ, of which he says, "I was laughing a lot during that movie, not because they were trying to be perverse, laughing at Jesus getting f***ed up. Extreme violence is just funny to me, and when you go so far beyond extremity, it just gets funnier and funnier."
So weird.
This is
I hate that take.
14, School of Rock.
Good film.
Great movie.
Watched
He
it
says
the
this
other
is
day.
as close to Bad News Bears as we ever got. 13, Jackass the Movie. 12, Big Bad Wolves. 11, Battle Royale. 10, Midnight in Paris. 9, Shaun of the Dead. 8, Mad Max Fury Road. The second Mel Gibson movie. 7, Unstoppable.
No, wasn't in that
6, Zodiac. 5, There Will Be Blood. 4, Dunkirk. 3, Lost in Translation, of which he said, "I fell so much in love with Lost in Translation that I fell in love with Sofia Coppola and made her my girlfriend." And then he later said, "I hadn't seen such a girly movie in a very long time, and I hadn't seen such a girly movie like that be done so well." Number 2, Toy Story 3. He called it
best
the
one.
good, the bad, and the ugly of animated films, the greatest end of a trilogy ever. And number 1, Black Hawk Down.
A terrible list.
Yeah.
Dreadful.
It's a terrible, terrible list.
I think that we've got a better top 5 list that we can do with Zaslow. Could you put together quickly for me, Zaslow, top 5 worst retirement tours ever in honor
I
of
can.
Chris Paul? Any
I
OLI,
can.
or are you just going to
Nope,
go?
let's get right to it.
All right.
No OLI. You ready, Dan?
Yep.
Top 5 worst retirement tours. Now, there are some rules here because it's not like, retirement. It's no. We know this player is retiring. His worst ending. Number 5, Wayne Gretzky. Had just 9 goals his final season. The Rangers missed the playoffs. Not the way you would expect the great one to go out.
I legitimately don't even remember Wayne Gretzky with the Rangers.
He killed the Panthers.
Do not remember
did.
it.
Killed us.
97. Killed the Panthers.
Dan, he was a
awesome in
big
that
hockey
series.
guy in 97.
I can break down Brian Skrudlin like nobody's business.
Number 4, Derek Jeter. He sucked his final year.
Oh, but he had the moment.
Don't let his last at-bat and the moment in a game 162 that meant nothing because the Yankees missed the playoffs. Don't let that final at bat, which was very cool, let you forget he was terrible that season. He bat .256. He had a .304 on base percentage.
Woof.
He was a singles hitter, .313 slugging. He sucked.
Would have led the league in batting this
Yeah,
season.
256.
No, but did you hear what he said, though? 304 and 313. He had an OPS of 615.
Sucked.
It's a walk-off in the last game.
no one
That
really-
was cool.
So special.
No one
That
really
was cool.
understands OPS.
Number 3, Charles Barkley. Now, it's not like Barkley was bad. He averaged a double-double, 14.5 points, 10.5 rebounds, but in his 20th game that season, actually it was his 19th, he blew out his knee, had to be carried off the court, and then even though he was out for the year, he made an appearance in the final game of the season so that he could actually walk off the court on his own. Very sad. Barkley deserved better. Number 2, Chris Paul. I mean, come on. Chris Paul announces that he's doing it's farewell. He's retiring. He averaged less than 3 points a game this year, shooting 32% in 16 games, sits on the end of the bench, doesn't talk to his coach for weeks, gets sent home in the middle of the night. An embarrassment. Chris Paul, second worst.
There's one worse than that?
Oh, yeah, you know what it is. The worst retirement tour. A player who didn't even deserve a retirement tour. They don't love you like they love Kobe. Paul Pierce, that's right.
He sucks.
Oh, he was such a duck that final year. 3.2 points per game. He only appeared in 25 games. Matter of fact, in his final game of that season, he played 2 minutes. He had no points. No points in his final regular season game. And his coach of the Clippers was Doc Rivers. It's like there's not a relationship there. Doc's like, I don't even care to play you more than 2 minutes. You suck. Paul Pierce, number 1.
You don't forgive easily. You're somebody who holds on to things in a way that is a bit maniacal, I would say. Earlier this year, I guess earlier during the baseball postseason, I was wondering how Aroldis Chapman could possibly, at this age, have been still throwing 103 and 104 miles an hour. It didn't make sense to me that he was terrible a few years ago, and all of a sudden he is back to being all sorts of dominant, and that his high fastball is something that nobody in the sport could hit. And Mike Ryan simply accused him in ways that were sort of whispered of steroid use. And then I just saw these photos of him just throwing the baseball.
Human genes, Dano.
That arm looks a bit like a human thigh.
Look at those lats.
My God.
I didn't
Look at his
whisper
chest.
it.
Look at his
I
chest.
just showed you the picture. It's the holiday season, and it is the 50th anniversary of Miller Lite, which means a lot of my favorite memories start the same way. I bring out a cornucopia of beautiful white Miller Lite cans, and I spread that holiday cheer. Ah, Miller Lite, holiday season. You crack open a Miller Lite, you look around, you look at your friends, you look at your family. You take that first sip and you know you made the right call. Miller Lite just fits. It's taste that you know you can depend on. Brewed for flavor with simple ingredients like malted barley, rich balanced toffee notes, and that iconic golden color. Almost festive in a way. And at 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces, it lets you enjoy the season without weighing you down. The original light beer since 1975 and still hitting different 50 years later. The best holiday beers are the ones you don't expect. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. 'Tis Miller time! Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories at 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
That's right. It's Thursday Thunder, and it's presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Juju, what do we got?
Yes, sir. Thursday night football equals Thursday Thunder. And that Lions secondary right now is super duper banged up. But you know who don't give a damn about none of that? Dak Prescott. So I'm going over on my man, CeeDee Lamb tonight, over 84.5 yards tonight. Come on, man. They ain't going to be able to guard him. Can't guard the man. Guess who else? I'm going over on George Pickens, man. Over 70 yards for my boy tonight. I think they both going to have a pretty big game, but I'm going with 70 yards. And the last leg, my boy Amon-Ra St. Brown, man, he hurt. Somebody going to have to step up in that slot on the outside, wherever they going to line them up at. I'm going with Tom Kennedy for over 2.5 catches tonight. Great White Hope, I see you.
All right, there you go. Juju, college football has their conference championships this weekend, but we have a lot of controversy. Do you have any solutions, what we could do about it?
Yeah, man, I think college football should institute another week. Like, just reserve a week, bruh, for the break a pool stick over one knee, toss it at two teams who want to go to the playoffs week. Because this the only way to really just handle all of this, bruh. We can do what we want to do. We see how the president act. Man, let's just add another week, man. Let's do it.
All right. I mean,
I like that idea.
You sold me.
I like that idea.
More football? Yeah. I mean,
What do you think about the conference semifinals? These conferences are too big. You have the committee rank the top 4 teams. You use head-to-head as a primary tiebreaker. You get the top 4 teams, and you boost people's resumes that deserve to be in the playoff. You get more quality losses. You just get more data points. You remove one regular season game, and the teams that aren't in the playoff, they play one another based on ranking too, so you can find out really who's the best in each power conference top to bottom.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. Peter Burns had an idea, too. Le Batard Challenge this weekend. Miami. I think he's right, by the way. If I had the option of watching Miami or Texas for a, who gets in, prove it kind of deal, or Ohio State and Indiana, obviously I'm biased. I'm more interested in Miami, Texas.
Right. I would also say I'm more interested also. I know that we got people on networks who are this big of stars, this big, they know this knowledge, but I'm tuned in to what Mike Ryan Ruiz is saying on Twitter about them Canes, because he is taking down dragon after dragon, pulling up with these weak-ass screenshots of some damn Notre Dame schedule. Salute my dog, Mike Ryan exclusive. Follow him if you're not following him right now.
There you go.
I've annoyed myself. But I have to for the cause.
I get it.
Juju, you have a top 5 for us here today?
Ah, man. I heard Dan earlier talking about turnovers just happen out of thin air. Bruh, the Panthers deserve credit. The Panthers defense. They was turning Brock Purdy over last week, and they moved on to the next week and did the same thing to my boy Matt Stafford. So it made me think of top 5 people or things that deserve more credit, man.
Like this.
Come on, man. OLI, Aaron Gordon. My boy lost his brother last year in the playoffs. Had a buzzer beater dunk in a series that went 7 games. Like, he been stepping up. He out with an injury right now, but he done proved to be a good piece next to the Joker, man.
Had a 50 burger this season too.
Come on, bruh. Put respect on my boy name. Also, OLI, self-driving cars, man. What is this? It's incredible. I don't know if y'all seen that. I don't know if Zach, you heard about them self-driving cars?
Yo, you're nuts if you think I'm getting into a self-driving car. What's the matter with you?
Exactly, man. Number 5, Dan said it, brought it up. Lane Johnson, man. Look, Eagles look bad without the boy, man. Somehow, some way, they look bad without him. Salute.
You got Paul on the list?
Number 4, Bryce. Every other week, Bryce Young.
You can't trust him every week.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Every
Every
other
week,
There's-
Bryce Young.
There's bad Bryce.
Yeah, for sure. Every other week, though, MVP candidate.
That's when the Bryce
Number
is right.
Look at my boy. Back. Come on,
Oh,
Jeremy.
God.
Put the camera on Jeremy for that one and give my boy some shine. Yes, sir, man. $1 million smile. Number 3, Caleb Williams, man. Like, the Bears are the number 1 seed. That's a real sentence. What are we doing? We make fun of him about the nails and the pink and all this stuff. Nah, let's put some respect on my boy and some credit where it's due. Let's be just as loud as when we gonna hate on my man. You feel me? Number 2, the beeps during weekend observations. Bruh, that was rough to listen to,
Good
without
point.
them beeps.
Good point.
And the number one thing, a person that deserves more credit in the world, bruh, I don't know if y'all remember this thing called Sheets and Giggles, but I remember my boy used to struggle. I'm talking about struggle so bad. But now my boy Chris Cody reads live on air. Come on, man.
Thank
Give
you,
my
Juju.
boy some more credit, bro.
I have gotten a lot better. I've noticed.
Wow, a lot better at
I've
talking.
noticed.
Good for you.
Hell yeah, man. Also, breaking news yesterday. I don't know if y'all keep up with this type of stuff. Darius Slay, my cousin, just got picked up by the Buffalo Bills, man. Come on, man. We are alive. I don't care how the season ends, man. We just going to have fun every Sunday, bro. This week, we probably going to have trouble against them Bengals, but we going to have fun doing it, bro.
Juju, tell us how everybody can watch you on Alley Oop.
Man, at DLS Hoops on YouTube, you feel me? We got a brand new page. Look, we struggling for views right now. Help a brother out. Help us get some views. We would love to make it one of the shows that's just as big as possible. You know what I mean? Also, salute the Club 520 podcast signing a deal with Adidas yesterday. The first podcast to get a shoe deal, man. We aiming for that stuff right there, man. We want to be just as dope as them folks, man, and hats off to them. But yeah, man. And on Fridays, on the regular Le Batard channel on YouTube. You dig us?
Make sure you check Juju out, all of his friends, including my homegirl Trista Crick on Alley Oop. But speaking of Alley Oop, we haven't done it in a couple days, guys. I got an MVP.
Oh, yeah.
Of the day.
That's right. I don't know if you guys saw. If we're going to have a conversation about MVP, better talk a little bit about Jamal Murray.
Talk to him.
The Denver Nuggets last night, they win at the Pacers. Now, the Pacers suck. Everybody knows that. The Nuggets win 135-120. And Jamal Murray, not only did he score a season high, an NBA season high, 52 points last night, he was 10 for 11 from three. That means he missed just one shot from three. It means he made 10 shots from three.
30 points.
Jamal, it means that 30 of his 52 points came from three-pointers. Jamal Murray, if we're going to have a conversation about MVP, time we start mentioning him.
Mm-hmm. Amen, brother. Preach, Zaz.
Yeah, I just did. I preached.
MVP of the day.
Hell yeah. Juju, let's update some polls, man.
Yes, sir, man. More famous Yankee Clipper. The hotel in Fort Lauderdale,
Big one.
Joe DiMaggio, or Tyler Clippard. 66% of the audience says Joe DiMaggio.
Thank God.
Come on, guys.
Will Jimmy Butler's jersey be retired in Miami? Also, too, sidebar before I read this answer. Miami Heat, I hate to do this to y'all. It's time to come home, bro. I get on Jaylen Brown. It's time to come home, bro. We got to cut the Michael Jordan jersey off, bro. We got to cut the Dan Marino jersey off,
I was
man.
like, who's
They
balding on the
legends.
Heat?
It's like Spo.
Right. The Heat themselves. 87% of the audience says no, Jimmy Butler's jersey will not be retired in Miami.
You're allowed to be remembered fondly with an organization without having your number hanging in the rafters. Like, why is that the be-all, end-all? You don't need your number retired. I'm sorry.
Right.
Not sorry.
Did Pablo Torre ruin the Clippers? 89% of the audience says yes, he did.
Wow. They've been terrible for a long time.
Right, bro. Investigate them boys. Also, I'm not saying I agree with David Sampson, but if this was a movie about a player who wanted to get traded, he would look just like Giannis looked yesterday. I'm not saying he faking though. I know it looked real. I'm gonna stay on the right side of history. Do you respect someone less if they hold on, I gotta start back over. This is a doozy for a hooked on phonics member like myself. Do you respect someone less when they think they have to have their mouth? Oh, shoot. One more time. Do you respect someone less if when they think they have to have their mouth more open? 83% of the audience says yes.
Oh, Chris.
I'm just happy I got through that. I can't believe I
That was
got
well
through that,
done.
ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all, man. Is shivved spelled with one V or two V's?
Big.
61% of the audience says two V's.
Yeah, I think so.
And last poll, does David Sampson sound like an old woman? Damn, bruh. People say I sound like an old lady too. 81% of the audience 81% of the audience says yes he does, and those are your polls.
You have to rap, Tony.
Thanks, Juju.
It's like David Sampson with helium.
Thank you.